Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. So this past week was NXT Deadline, live from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Let's get into it. It didn't open with a match. It opened with Shawn Michaels, the guy running NXT right now, coming out, saying a little bit, and then CM Punk coming out in a Bret Hart hoodie, saying a little bit. But there was really no point to any of this. Then getting to our first match for the NXT North American Championship. Dragon Lee challenging Dominic Mysterio. It was originally supposed to be Wesley, but sadly, Wesley got injured. He's going to have back surgery. He's going to be out for a while. As far as this match goes, it was pretty good. You know, plenty of back and forth and everything. Probably one of the best outings I've seen Dominic Mysterio have. And after some decent back and forth, Dragon Lee caught Dominic Mysterio in a roll-up, got a pin, and became the new NXT North American Champion. And then afterwards, Dragon Lee celebrated with Rey Mysterio, who was doing commentary at ringside. I gotta say, though, this is not making Rey Mysterio look good. Like, I get that they've been portraying Dominic as, you know, the a-hole son, but the fact that the father is now, like, supporting everybody who is against his son, it just kind of shows that his dad's being a little immature. But whatever. This match was pretty good. I'd easily give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah! And then for the first Iron Survivor Challenge. Concept that came out last year at last year's Deadline. A match involving 5 superstars that will last for 25 minutes. 2 superstars will start the match, and every 5 minutes, another superstar will come out until all 5 are there. Falls can be awarded at any time via pinfall, submission, or countout. When a competitor gets a fall, they get 1 point, and the person that got the fall over will go into the penalty box for 90 seconds. Then at the end of the match, whoever has the most falls among the 5 wins the Iron Survivor Challenge. I've talked about it before. I'm not very into gimmick matches that have this many stipulations. It just becomes confusing. However, let's get to the first one, the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. And in the order that they came out, Fallon Henley versus Blair Davenport versus Tiffany Stratton versus Kalani Jordan versus Last Legend. Blair got the first fall over Henley. Then later Henley got one over Tiffany Stratton. Then there wasn't another fall until Last Legend came out. She was the final entrant. And she immediately got 2 points by doing a double pin. It's cool. And then while Fallon Henley and Tiffany Stratton were in the penalty box, because that's who Last Legend pinned, the other members of Metaphor decided to come out and block them from being able to get out of the penalty box. So Fallon Henley got the idea to climb out through the top because there is no roof, which gave Tiffany Stratton the idea of pushing her through the announce table. Then later, Blair Davenport got a point over Kalani Jordan. Stratton got a fall over Last Legend. But with 10 seconds left on the clock, Blair Davenport got the final pin over Fallon Henley, making it with her 3 points, she is the Women's Iron Survivor winner, meaning that she will get a shot at the NXT Women's Championship at New Year's Evil. And after this, Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria came out, basically to do a stare down with Blair Davenport, and got attacked by a returning Cora Jade. So overall, the entire match was very exciting. Even though it's a little too convoluted in my opinion as a gimmick, I can't deny it was hard to take your eyes off of it because any minute you could have missed something. I would honestly say this was the match of the night, and I would give it a 5 out of 5. Yeah! Then a grudge match of Lexis King versus Carmelo Hayes. Match that came about after Trick Williams got attacked, and still nobody knows who did it. Lexis King alluding to that maybe he did it, and tried to frame Carmelo Hayes for it, which led to this match. It was good. I mean, plenty of back and forth and everything. I just, honestly, from these two, I expected more. Like, Carmelo Hayes, honestly, in my opinion, is the best wrestler in NXT right now. I'd honestly say he's better than most of the people on the main roster. And you have Lexis King, who I've been following since he was Brian Pillman Jr. in MLW, and he's also fantastic. But the match just kind of felt like something to do in between the Iron Survivor challenges. But like I said, there was still plenty of back and forth, plenty of drama, and it went until Carmelo Hayes got nothing but net onto Lexis King, which also was a decision I kind of didn't really agree with. I know Carmelo Hayes is a former champion and everything, but they're putting all of this into Lexis King, and you're going to have him lose his first PLE appearance? Not to mention, in my opinion, I think it's kind of time to start winding NXT Carmelo Hayes down a little bit and taking him up to the main roster. But then after the match, Lexis King grabbed a mic and informed Carmelo Hayes that he did not attack Trick Williams. He just let them think he did so he could get a spot on the PLE. Meaning that we still have no idea who attacked Trick Williams. And hopefully they're not going to unveil that as Carmelo Hayes, because at this point it's too predictable. But the match overall, easily still got a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then the men's Iron Survivor Challenge, which I thought was a little weird. I didn't think it was going to be the main event, but I thought it'd be a little bit closer. But whatever. Again, in order of them coming out, Dijak, Josh Briggs, Tyler Bate, Trick Williams, and Braun Breaker. Before Bates came out, Dijak had already gotten a pin over Josh Briggs. But soon after Josh Briggs got out of that penalty box, he got a pin over Dijak. And soon after Dijak got out of the penalty box, he got pinned by Tyler Bate, sending him right back. Then very soon after Trick Williams came out, Tyler Bate got a pin on him. The second Braun Breaker entered the ring, he did a spear to Briggs, got a pin over him, and then immediately got a spear on Tyler Bate and got a pin over him. So within less than a minute, he had already gotten 2 points. But then right after, making it a little bit over a minute, got a pin over Dijak. 3. And then soon after Dijak came out, he got a pin over Williams. In a very cool spot, Braun Breaker got a Frankensteiner onto Dijak from the top rope, who was caught by Bate, and he took that pin. Another cool moment was when both Dijak and Briggs decided to do moonsaults onto Braun Breaker and Trick Williams, simultaneously getting a pin. And then soon after Trick Williams got out of the penalty box, he finally got a pin over Josh Briggs. Then at some point, Eddie Thorpe came out, basically to distract Dijak, because that rivalry's still going. Basically get some payback onto Dijak for what he's been doing to Eddie Thorpe, and Trick Williams used this to get a pin over Dijak. Then Trick got another one onto Bate. Then literally at the last second, Trick Williams got the final pin over Braun Breaker. I mean it like they counted 3 and then 1 second, buzzer. It was cool. But that made it to where Trick Williams was the only one who had 4, making him the Iron Survivor winner. Meaning he's going to challenge for the NXT Championship at New Year's Evil. Which good for him. The match again, it was exciting. It's hard to take your eyes off of. But I will say it was a few too many falls. Like there was just too much going on. Which is why I would say I liked it a little bit less than the women's. Just because of that, a little too much going on. But still easily got a 5 out of 5. Then another grudge match that was going to be settled in a steel cage. Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James. Heated rivalry, but that's spanned a couple of PLEs. As far as this match goes, I'm disappointed to say that it was just okay. If it was just a normal match, it might have been better, but the fact that it was as good as it was, but a cage, was a bit of a letdown. Like, it's a cage match, you really got to bring it. Because like I said, they had a good match, just not good enough to be justified as a cage match. Like, there was plenty of back and forth and plenty of drama and plenty of excitement between these two wrestling, but again, it was a cage. Get a little bit more brutal. And even though the stipulation in this match made it to where this was one of those cage matches that had to be done in the ring, getting out of the cage was not going to make you win. They opened the cage door anyway to get weapons, and that gave Izzy Dame a chance to strike Roxanne Perez with the cage door. And then Kiana James used that to hit her deal-breaker finisher with a chair onto Roxanne Perez and get the pin. Like I said, I was just disappointed with it because I didn't feel it lived up to being a cage match. But I can't deny it was still good. So I would barely give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then the main event for the NXT Championship. Baron Corbin challenged Ilya Dragunov. A rivalry that's gotten very personal, with Baron Corbin bringing his family into this. And because of that, you could feel the personal in the match. Like I will say, great match. Brutal. A lot of back and forth. A lot of drama. A lot of anger. A lot of desperation. And you could feel the desperation in Ilya. Like, for example, when he was so desperate to get the upper hand that he did a coast-to-coast. And then after 3 H-bombs followed by the Torpedo Moscow, Ilya Dragunov got the pin, the win, and retained his NXT Championship. Like I said, this match was really good. I would give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah! So NXT Deadline 2023 overall, it's a good show. Most of the matches in between the Iron Survivor challenges I felt were just okay. They all kind of felt like filler, even though one of them was a title match. Then again, I'm not trying to be mean, but at this point, any match with Dominic Mysterio feels like a filler match. I honestly don't know if I could say he's not talented. I think he's got some talent, but he's not really bringing it out. Like, honestly, I think the fact that he was wrestling somebody like Dragon Lee was what made that match good, but not great. The Lexus King Carmelo Hayes match definitely had the filler match feeling to it. The cage match didn't feel like a filler, it felt like a real match, but it was a bit of a letdown. It was a cage match. The main event, it brought it. Wouldn't say it was a 5-star match, but it brought it. But obviously, the star of the show was the 2 Iron Survivor challenges, which I'm coming around to, because even though, again, I don't like gimmick matches that are just over convoluted. Like, I don't like when they have that many stipulations. I like simple ones, like ladder matches. Climb a ladder, grab the belt, or briefcase. Cage matches. Get out of the cage, pin or submission in the cage. Hell in a Cell match. Pin or submission in the ring, surrounded by a big, huge cage. But I can't deny that the Iron Survivor challenges were very entertaining. They were the kind of matches that you were on the edge of your seat, you didn't want to look away, because you could miss something at any moment. Even though the men's, I felt they did a little bit too much, still really good. The women's, though, I would say was the star of the night. With the fact that it had 2 5s, a 4, then yeah, a couple of 3s. None of the matches on this card were bad. Honestly, this is the best NXT PLE I've seen in quite a while. So hopefully this means that NXT is going to start really stepping it up again and become the brand that the real wrestling fans really like again in WWE. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. As far as this particular show, I would easily give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah! So there you have it. That's my wrestling review this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like. Hit subscribe. Hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos. And leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of NXT Deadline 2023. Love you guys.